Martin's short instructional video about how to just do some really basic seed sowing. So really simple, really general technique that will work really well for any types of seeds. So the best advice, first thing to do with the seeds, is to read the packet. Now, these are actually some seeds we've saved ourselves, so these don't have a packet, which is why I'm going to show you just a general technique that will work for pretty much all seeds. But the best advice is always just to read the side of the packet of the seeds that you've bought, and you will see that they'll have a sowing depth in there, and try and replicate the sowing depth that they suggest, the amount of soil on top of the seed. But if you're going to get it wrong, do it shallow, because most seeds don't work when they're too deep. So the first thing we're going to do to sow our seeds is we need to get some soil or some potting compost. So here we just have, this is actually a potting compost. It just has some cocoa peat, some perlite. Any kind of soil or compost will do. If you can get specific seed sowing compost, great. If not, just any soil from the garden will be fine. So first thing we're going to do is fill the pot up. And we want to fill it up so we've still got a little bit of space on the top, because we're going to add some more soil in a minute. So we fill it up a little bit like that. Then we just give it a very gentle push down, very, very gentle. We don't want to compact the soil, but we do just want to push it down a little bit. Soil is quite fluffy, and when we water it, it's all going to wash down, so we just want to accelerate that a little bit. Then we just get our seeds. So a pot this size, I would suggest about 10 seeds. So I'll put them in my hand first. Oh, be careful when you're sowing chili seeds. Don't scratch your eyes or face like I just did, because they can be spicy. And then we just pop the seeds on top of the soil, like this. Evenly spread them out. Try and think about the size of plant that's going to be growing. Now, once we've put the seeds on like that, the next thing we need to do is cover them up. Now, if you think in nature, seeds rarely get planted, they just sort of sprinkle on the top of the surface. So that's what seeds are designed to do. They're designed to be sort of dispersed or go through an animal's guts or something. So we don't want to bury them too deeply. Now, ideally, what we would do here is get a sieve, of sort of quite a coarse grain, and sieve some soil over the top, so we get a very thin but very even layer of small particles. But not everyone is lucky enough to have a sieve, so I'm just going to show you how to do it without. So we just want to sprinkle the soil on top, so that we cover the seeds. Not too deep, only no more than about 1 centimetre of soil covering it. Just give it a nice even distribution. So we don't have any dips. Nice flat. Again, at this point, we'll just give it a very gentle tap down, very gentle. And then that's it. So the final stage with any kind of planting, whether it were planting plants, whether it were planting seeds, is to give it some water. Very important. So that's important for two things when you're seed sowing. One, the wetness activates the seed, so it triggers it from being dormant into, okay, I'm in the right conditions, I can grow now. So it needs to get wet. Also, I mentioned before about the soil being quite fluffy. What you need to do is wash that soil down, so you've got some soil particles in contact with the seeds. So that makes sure that the seed isn't sort of sat in a sort of air pocket somewhere that's not in contact with soil and water. So we have a watering can here. This is quite a large one, any kind of watering can will do. Be nice and confident with the watering can. Just like that. Not too violent, not too much, and then just let it settle like that. And if you happen to have exposed any little seeds, just cover them up with a little bit more soil. But then that's all we need to do. That's perfect. So for the next few days, we'll put this somewhere, ideally somewhere a little bit dark for a few days, no strong sun, and then just keep it watered. No need to have it soaking wet, just don't let it dry out, keep it sort of damp. And then every seed is different. Sometimes they take 12 hours to germinate, sometimes they take 12 days. So sometime these guys should be up in a couple of days. So yeah, we'll just sit now, keep them watered and wait for the little baby plants.